The Niners lost the Super Bowl. They did a lot of good things in this game and should have won it. They were the better team, but they found a way to lose with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So let's get right to the collapse. I'm going to start with how it happened, and I'm going to assess blame in every case. I have 12 plays, and it's someone else almost every time. So it's a team effort in the collapse. But as I said, the Niners did a lot of good things in this game too and should have won. I'm going to get to all the good things they did after I go through the collapse. Let's get right to it. Okay, so this is fourth quarter, 9:52 left. Niners up 10, second and nine at the 49ers 39-yard line. These are one of the 2 second down pass plays that I question of Kyle Shanahan. In this situation, 10-point lead, fourth quarter, best running game in the league, going against a mediocre run defense, there needs to be a run play. Well, first of all, you should be trusting your identity of your offense. This is not it. I mean, this is 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, no Kyle Juszczyk. Where's Juszczyk? You spent all this money on the best fullback in the game and you don't trust him up 10 in the Super Bowl? He scored a touchdown. He's one of your best players. He should be in the game right here. That's first off. So you're not trusting your identity. You're in a single back offense. Why? This pretty much telegraphs a pass with 3 wide receivers on the field. And then now let's look at it from this angle over here. Shanahan said basically he couldn't run the ball in the fourth quarter. You see Garoppolo changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and you could blame him from, checking from a run to a pass. But what I would say is Shanahan should have given him 2 runs. Check from a run to a run. No pass allowed. I mean, look at this hole right here between 91 and 55. There's no run you can call to get in between there and get 4 yards, 5 yards. Really? Outside zone won't work. Inside zone won't work. A counter play. Nothing. So they go with this play action pass. And the Chiefs are not fooled. I mean, look at 53. He's reading the pass the whole way, and no one's there to pick him up. So what Shanahan ends up calling, instead of a run that could have gained 5 yards easily, right here, he ends up calling a play-action pass that turns his quarterbacks back to the defense and does not pick up a blitzing A-gap linebacker. So when Garoppolo turns around, all he sees is he's about to get sacked, and he has to get rid of the ball. He does a good job getting rid of the ball and not taking the sack. That's about all he could do. If you look in the flat, you're going to see Kendrick Bourne is open, and maybe Kyle Shanahan saying he should make this throw, but he was protecting himself. He didn't have time to scan the field. That's the first read. By the time he sees it, he also sees he's going to get decked, and he just tries to get rid of the ball to prevent taking a sack. That's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. That's Kyle Shanahan's fault for not calling a run against a favorable front and calling a play-action pass that the Chiefs anticipated and putting his quarterback in a bad position. I put this one, play number 1 of the 12-part collapse, on Kyle Shanahan. Okay, so the 49ers would end up punting, give the ball back to the Chiefs. This is the infamous 3rd and 15 play at the Chiefs' 35-yard line. The Niners are going to use cover 3 buzz, and I broke that down for you in the preview to the Super Bowl when I talked about how the Niners might defend this 3-by-1 set. This time it's 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers, but still. Cover 3 buzz is 3 deep, 2 corners, 1 safety deep, and this strong safety dropping down and playing in the middle as opposed to playing in the flat. Playing the hook curl as opposed to the curl flat. Got it? That's it. It's a pretty small distinction. Anyway, it's a good way for the strong safety to pick up this deep over route. It's a good call against this 3-by-1 formation. So the fact that Tyreek Hill makes a 44-yard catch is not necessarily Saleh's fault. It's not Saleh's fault. It's Mosley's fault. It's not Jimmy Ward's fault. It's 3 deep. Remember, this guy needs to be back here, not covering the in route. And you can understand why he would cover it, because it's 3rd and 15 and he's played with this great pass rush this whole season and he doesn't expect Patrick Mahomes to have enough time to get the ball even further than right here. So he breaks on this. But look at Sherman. He's getting deep right now and sees the whole thing unfolding. Mosley's still blissfully unaware. So this is Mosley's fault. And this is what you get. Mosley played well most of the season, but he's inexperienced, and with the game on the line, the season on the line, he made a critical error. The Niners really need to upgrade their corners. They're might be the best team in the league, quarterback aside, 2 through 53 on the roster. But they do have a couple of weaknesses. It's cornerback and interior line. The Niners, if I were the Niners, I would spend my first draft pick this year on a corner. That was part 2 of the collapse, the throw to Hill. This is part 3. Same drive. This is now 3rd and 10. Before I said Saleh called cover 3 buzz. It's a good call. Here he's calling cover 1, which is man-to-man coverage and only one safety deep, and a blitz. I don't like this call. I respect Robert Saleh, and he did a great job mixing up his coverages in this game. But in this particular play, you got man-to-man coverage with 3 safeties. One here, Tavarius Moore here, and Jimmy Ward here. I like the way he used 3 safeties, and I'll show you more of that later. But if you're going man-to-man coverage with the blitz and only one safety in the middle of the field, what you got is Tavarius Moore one-on-one against Travis Kelce and Jimmy Ward one-on-one, or who is that? That's Quan Alexander one-on-one against Tyreek Hill. Those are 2 bad matchups for the 49ers. Tart has to pick which one he wants to help on. He goes to Tyreek Hill because he's faster. That leaves Tavarius Moore, a promising young player who didn't play that much this year, against the Chiefs' number 1 threat, Travis Kelce. That's a tough call. You'd say Tavarius Moore needs to get his head turned around. A lot of times they don't teach cornerbacks to turn their head. They just tell them to play the catch point, get your hands up, which gets you in trouble if the pass is underthrown and the wide receiver stops, because then you just run into him, which was what happened here. I don't blame Tavarius Moore. He's inexperienced. He's guarding the second best or the best tight end in the league. Saleh shouldn't expected Moore to hold up in that matchup. I mean, when Mahomes saw it, the ball was out. There was no hesitation. It wasn't like, well, I need to see Kelce open first. Let me just throw. It was just, let me throw the ball up to my playmaker and let him make a play, because I've never heard of the guy he's going up against. So this one, I would say this was Robert Saleh's fault. Too aggressive in this situation. What I would have done, a better call. Man-to-man coverage is fine on 3rd and long. I think it's probably the best call against the Chiefs on 3rd and long. But instead of doing this blitz here, which gets nowhere, play this safety back and have 2 deep man under with a 4-man pass rush. Because watch the blitz. I mean, what did you get from this blitz? You have the best 4-man pass rush in the league. Hurry up. So it's the sandwich blitz. If you've been watching my film breakdowns, you know about the sandwich blitz. It's when I invented that name. It's when the guy goes from one side all the way to the other. So in this case, it's Bosa. He's going from the B gap on this side all the way to the B gap on this side. And I call it the sandwich blitz because the quarterback can eat an entire sandwich before the blitzer gets there. So the blitz didn't get you any advantage, and all you did was isolate a young DB and give the Chiefs the ball at the 1-yard line. This was Robert Saleh's fault. Very next play action. Watch Fred Warner. Bites hard on the play action. That's his man right here. Travis Kelce, touchdown. Undisciplined. Got to keep your eyes on your man and not on the quarterback in man-to-man coverage. That's on Warner. That was Warner's fault, that touchdown, and you can see Tart looking at him like, what was that? That's part 4 of the 12-part collapse. Okay, so when people criticize Kyle Shanahan in this game, they say that he didn't run the ball enough in the 4th quarter with a lead. I point to 2 plays specifically, the second down plays, because he ran on 1st down. Then he a couple of times passed on 2nd down when he clearly could have ran. I showed you the first one. He had a space on the left side of his offensive line to run for 4 or 5 yards. Instead, he called a play-action pass that got Jimmy Garoppolo hit. This is the second one. This is now 2nd and 5 at the 49ers' 25-yard line, 4th quarter, 5:27 left. First of all, they're in the shotgun. This is, again, not your identity. Juszczyk playing wide receiver instead of playing fullback. What is that? George Kittle playing in the slot instead of playing tight end. You got Levine Toilolo in the game for some reason, not one of your best players. And you got this, fancy RPO coming where you're going to fake the run here and then either throw the bubble screen to Deebo Samuel or a slant to George Kittle, it's so obvious what's coming. It's clear you're not running the ball. If you were running the ball, Kittle would be right here, not Toilolo. Since Kittle, also, Juszczyk would be in the backfield. With Kittle and Juszczyk out here, it's pretty clear the Niners are throwing the ball, and that's exactly what the Chiefs anticipate. Watch. I mean, watch 95 in particular. Is he playing the run on 2nd and 5 here? Is anyone playing the run on 2nd and 5? These are all pass rushing moves. 95 goes from the right all the way to the left because he's not worried about gap discipline or defending the run, and knocks down the pass. When you telegraph a pass like that with your personnel grouping and your formation, it can lead to batted balls at the line of scrimmage, especially when you got a great player like Chris Jones, who's this big. He wasn't worried about a run there. The formation and the personnel grouping tipped him off. This is a pass. If it was a run, you'd have Kittle right there. You'd have Juszczyk in the backfield. It's clear you're trying to get the ball to Kittle out here on a slant. Chiefs anticipate it, knock it down. This I put on Kyle Shanahan again. This isn't Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. He got his pass batted down at the line of scrimmage by a defensive tackle who anticipated a pass based on Shanahan's personnel grouping and formation. Very next play, this is part 6 of the collapse. 4th quarter, 5:23 left, 3rd and 5. This is Garoppolo's fault. Let's watch him here. Drops back. Chiefs bring 6. That's a big-time blitz, and he freezes. He's staring at Kendrick Bourne, his first read. Throws the ball just like he did when he got intercepted, and I'll show you that later. Just flicks the ball up for grabs while taking a hit. That's a bad habit. And if you notice, Kittle's wide open. Never sees him. Open early. Still holding the ball, looking at Kendrick Bourne. And if you don't believe me, let's check the videotape. Where's he looking? Where's he looking? Where's he looking? Hold on. The same place the entire time. Bourne. What are you looking for? This is what I call a quarterback as cheerleader. You're rooting for your wide receiver to get open. Come on, man. Get open, as opposed to moving on to the next person in your progression. This is one read Jimmy right here. Got to see Kittle open coming across the middle. He was open quick right here. Throw this pass. That's on Jimmy. That should have been a first down. All right, next play, 4th and 5. Here's Wishnowsky, the rookie 4th-round pick. Let's see what happens here. From the 25-yard line, Super Bowl on the line, touted as the best punter in the draft and a real asset. That's a 40-yard shank to the 35-yard line. Notice Mecole Hardman sprinting up. He's back at the 25, expecting like a 50-yard punt from a real punter, from a terrific punter. That's a shank with the Super Bowl on the line. So that was Mitch Wishnowsky's fault, and the special teams deserve some criticism as well. Okay, this is part 8 of the collapse, and we're back on the defense. Watch Sherman. This is the Sherman play. But, I'm not going to put this one on Sherman. Obviously, we learned that Sherman, this is two games in a row where he got beat deep by a wide receiver who's not a super fast player. Sammy Watkins here, Devontae Adams the week before. Pretty much the same play. Inside release, deep down the field, safety in the middle of the field. He looks like he's running with rain boots on. He is not the guy he used to be. The Achilles tendon tear has slowed him down. Same with Emmanuel Sanders. I'll show him later. But, Sherman just had one of the best seasons of his career despite this limitation. He's terrific in zone coverage, particularly with deep zone coverage when he has help underneath. In man-to-man, if you're going to play man-to-man coverage and you know it, you got to give Sherman more help. They call the blitz, and they have only one deep safety in the middle of the field. If you're going the same issue I had with the pass interference to Tavarius Moore. You're playing man-to-man coverage. I think you need 2 safeties deep to help these corners because they're not built for man-to-man coverage. Sherman isn't built for it. Tavarius Moore wasn't built for it. Jimmy Ward's not in a position where he can really help here. And now, if it was Earl Thomas used to be able to help Richard Sherman like this. when they were both in their prime in Seattle. Sure, Earl Thomas could cover some real ground. Jimmy Ward's solid, but he's not going to get there. If you had split safeties with Ward right here and Tart back here and no blitzer, he could have got there. This might have even been an interception. More likely, it wouldn't have even been thrown. So I put this one on Robert Saleh. Too aggressive. Go with two-man instead of cover one with the blitz. Not Sherman's fault, although really they should probably find a way to replace him. Their corners are liabilities. The biggest weakness on the team. Okay, this is 3rd and goal from the 49ers 5-yard line with 2:50 left in the game. The Niners still winning. They're up 20-17. Notice it's man-to-man coverage. Tyreek Hill goes in motion. Jimmy Ward follows him. Man-to-man coverage is really important because Patrick Mahomes is going to do a little play fake to Tyreek Hill, then throw the ball to Damian Williams. The play fake shouldn't affect Jimmy Ward because Ward is in man-to-man coverage here on Damian Williams, supposed to have his eyes on him, but instead he's looking at the run fake, which is poor discipline, and he's late to get over. Richard Sherman has to cover for him and can't quite get there quickly enough. Good play by Sherman, bad play by Ward, who didn't have the greatest game. These are some of the things the Niners have to weigh and consider when they're thinking about giving him another contract. Not the most disciplined player, doesn't always line up in the right spot, doesn't make big plays. Versatile and solid, though. Terrific tackler. Can play nickel and safety. Gives the Niners options. If he's cheap, you bring him back, but I don't think you want to spend too much money for him. Okay, so the ball goes back to the offense, and now they're down 4, and Jimmy Garoppolo has an opportunity to become Joe Montana or put himself in the pantheon of quarterbacks who have led comeback touchdown drives in the Super Bowl, as Patrick Mahomes would go on to do. Few things. 3rd and 10. First of all, I put this on 3 people. First of all, I'm putting this on Shanahan for calling a deep pass with the game on the line. It's 3rd and 10. You're going to go for it on 4th down anyway. Why not call a pass that's a little bit where the first option is underneath? Clearly, the first option is to go to Sanders, and he's open, so Garoppolo's supposed to throw that. Bourne is open too. Still, I question the play call of having a primary receiver running deep on 3rd and 10. But, I mean, he's open, Bourne's open too. You can't give too much. The play worked theoretically. I just feel like if you have other plays that work that were a little bit higher percentage of working out, go with that. Because Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't hit this throw in practice very often. I was there for training camp. He never hits the deep throw. It's why they don't call it very much. Usually the only time he hits a deep throw in a game is when the guy's wide open. There's been a busted coverage, like at the end of the Rams game. Same play from a few weeks ago. So I don't love the play call, but you can't bash it. It's a terrible throw by Jimmy Garoppolo. Just he's not a good deep ball thrower. Shanahan probably should have known that when he called this. If the guy's covered, he's going to miss the throw. And this is loose coverage. And then Sanders. I mean, sure, it's an overthrow, but you'd like to see, this is your deep threat, have a little extra gear, a little extra juice at some point in this route. Like here. I mean, Deebo Samuel probably would have caught up to this ball. Marquise Goodwin definitely would have. Sanders gives up. And again, I think 3 years ago he would have caught that. It's another guy who had a torn ACL and came back, and now he's 32. If he's expensive, let him go, I would say, because the Niners have a bunch of young wide receivers who are talented and cheap. Okay, this is 4th and 10. The collapse is also complete. One thing I didn't mention about the last play that's same as this play, basically the same formation personnel grouping. 3rd and 10 and 4th and 10, you got 3 wide receivers, Mostert and Kittle in the backfield. You had Kittle blocking on 3rd down and Kittle blocking on 4th down with your season on the line. And Shanahan was asked about this yesterday at his post-season press conference and end-of-year wrap-up. And he said, yeah, it's a standard personnel grouping you use, blah, 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 blah. No. Your season's on the line. Kittle's by far your best receiver. He needs to be in the pattern on 3rd down and 4th down. You need an extra blocker? Sure, that should be George Kittle. Right? Excuse me. That should be Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk should be here. Mostert here. Kittle in the slot. Deebo next to him. And Bourne or Sanders opposite. That should be your personnel grouping with the season on the line. Those are your best players. But you got Kittle blocking on 3rd down and 4th down. And what you got is no one open. Sanders is tired from running that deep route before. Bourne is bracketed. Deebo Samuel's not open. Not Garoppolo's fault. Now, finally, George Kittle leaks out and gives him an option at the very, very end. But he's sacked by then. It's over. Over. This one was Shanahan's fault. Put Kittle in the pattern. Have Juszczyk in the backfield. Shanahan totally went away from Juszczyk with the season on the line, and I don't get it because Juszczyk was one of the MVPs of this team this season. And you could argue he is the identity of their offense, him playing fullback. Kittle's the best player, but Juszczyk gives the Niners their identity, and they went away from it in the crisis moment of the season. Game wasn't over yet, though. The defense goes back on the field, and they have 3 timeouts, 1:20 left. Theoretically, if they stop the Chiefs 3 times, call 3 timeouts, they get the ball back with a minute left and get another chance to lead either a game-winning or a game-tying drive, depending on how many yards the Chiefs get and if they get the field goal. Still, game's not over. This is what you call 2nd and 6. This is checkmate. This is the end. This is part 12 of the 12-part collapse. Watch Nick Bosa, who had really played extremely hard and had many good moments in this game, just gets swallowed up by Eric Fisher. That, to me, is fatigue. Gives up the edge. The game's pretty much over right here because he got the first down. The Jimmy Ward's missed tackle is a bad look as well. Game over. Niners lose the Super Bowl. After this play, Nick Bosa goes to the sideline and cries. And I understand why, because from his perspective, 1, they had the Super Bowl 1, and they gave it away, and 2, he was the final culprit of the 12-part collapse. It was not all his fault that the Niners lost this game, but he was the final one to make a mistake in this epic collapse, part 12, Nick Bosa. Now let's get to the good stuff the Niners did, the best play calls. Starting with the defense, this is the first quarter, real early in the game, 14-12 left, 2nd and 3, second play of the game. Chiefs immediately come out in this 3-by-1 formation that I spent so much time talking about in the YouTube preview. Kelsey out here, 3 wide receivers opposite him. What are the Niners going to do? And I said what I would do, especially on first down or second down, when you want to play zone coverage, put Sherman on Kelsey man-to-man and play cover 4 behind him, cover 4 lock, basically a box and 1 like in basketball. And that's exactly what they do. So I feel really smart. You're welcome, Robert Saleh, or I'm glad we came to the same conclusion. You see this Jimmy Ward backing out. Come on, hurry up. You're going to have these 3 playing deep, these 3 playing underneath, and Richard Sherman playing man-to-man, doing a great job on a tight end. He can cover a tight end. These 3 playing deep, these 3 playing underneath, nowhere to go, forces a check down, incomplete. So I'm proud of myself, and good for you, Robert Saleh. That was the right call, perfect way to defend the Chiefs' offense. Okay, so cover 4 lock was good for first and second down when you're trying to take away the deep stuff. Zone is good at taking away the deep stuff, keeping stuff in front of you. This is 3rd and 6. And I mentioned in my YouTube that if there's any other coverage you could get away with against the Chiefs in this 3-by-1 formation, it's man-to-man coverage with 2 deep safeties. No blitz. And that's what Saleh does here on 3rd down. It's the right coverage on 3rd down. Once again, you got Sherman on Kelsey. He does a great job there. And it's a really interesting personnel grouping. 3 safeties. Because Jimmy Ward's dropped down here and playing nickelback in the slot. You got Tavarius Moore up here and Jaquiski Tart here. K'Wan Williams here, man-to-man coverage. Everyone has helped deep because of the 2 safeties. Tart, who's just kind of roaming, watching the play, sees exactly where Mahomes is going, jumps early, forces the throw behind the receiver. He drops it. It gets tipped to Tavarius Moore, who picks it off. But that's all on Tart. Great play by Tart. A perfect call by Robert Saleh on 3rd down. And really, the Niners might have won the Super Bowl if he had stuck with 2-man coverage with no blitz in the 4th quarter with the game on the line. There's a lot of things, a lot of people on the Niners could have done differently to seal this win, and I think that's one of them. This was a perfect call on 3rd down, 2-man, no blitz. Okay, let's go offense now. In my preview, I mentioned that the Chiefs load up to stop the strong side of an offensive formation. This is where the 2 tight ends are. The Chiefs have 4 guys over here and only 3 guys over here. They really load up to stop the tight end. They put a guy over the tight end and a guy outside the tight end and make it tough to run over here. But they're not a great run defense. They're loading up over here and daring you to run it over here and basically giving you the weak side runs if you're ready for them, if you want them. And the Niners didn't take them nearly enough. They were open all game. This is just simple outside zone from the shotgun to the weak side. Everyone gets blocked. Mostert gains 11 easily. This was open all game. Watch the blocking real quick. 63 reaches, gets across the face of this defensive tackle. Person double teams and kicks out the defensive end, then climbs up and gets the linebacker, and everyone's blocked. That's a perfect seam right there. Nice block here by Richie James Jr. coming across. Gain of 11. I don't understand why the Niners didn't call this more often. It was there. It was open. Again, Chiefs loading up to stop the strong side runs. Count the guys on the on this side of the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on this side of the center. 3 over here on the weak side. They're not letting you run behind Kittle, but they're sure as hell letting you run over here. So what do the Niners do? This is really creative. What does Kyle Shanahan do? Fakes the run over here, pulls a guard, flips the ball to Deebo Samuel running weak, away from the tight end. He's going to gain 32 yards. This has been the Niners' best play in their playbook for like half a season. They only called it twice. They could have called it 6 times in this game, especially on one of those second down plays where they passed with the lead in the fourth quarter. This would have been a perfect call. Here's another way the Niners ran the ball successfully. This time they run the ball strong side to Kittle side. And watch what they do. The Chiefs load the box. It looks like it's impossible to run over here. But they do this toss play over here. Deebo Samuel blocks down on Frank Clark. And what makes this play work is they get an extra blocker at the point of attack. They pull Kittle and Staley, but they use the jet sweeper, Kendrick Bourne, to get around and block the free safety, Kendall Fuller. That makes the whole play go. Joe Staley kicks out this cornerback, Travarius Ward, gain of 9. The Niners had so many ways that they could run against loaded boxes all season. That's how they got to the Super Bowl, running at will against the Packers and Vikings. And they did it against the Chiefs, who have a mediocre run defense. I still can't believe they didn't give Mostert more than 12 carries in this game. Okay, here they go again. 2 tight ends, like earlier I showed you, with Kittle and Dwelly. They're going to fake the counter weak, with this, which the Chiefs are now expecting. They know they're vulnerable over there. And again, they pitch it to Deebo Samuel. And the coolest part about this design is watch Kittle. Looks like he's pulling for a counter play to kick this guy out, and all of a sudden he turns around. Have you ever seen a blocking scheme like that? I've never seen that. Turns around, and now is leading down the field for Deebo Samuel. Gets a piece of him, still going. Takes out this guy. Beautiful play call. I mean, with plays like that, the Niners couldn't run the ball in the fourth quarter. I always think of Swingers, the movie, when Kyle Shanahan says he can't run the ball in certain situations. It's like, you're this big bear, man. You got these claws, and the bunny's scared of you. And you're saying with these claws, you can't kill the bunny? The bunny's just quivering. With these freaking claws, you can't kill the bunny? Every time Shanahan says he can't run the ball with the game on the line, it's like, I don't know, man. It seems like every end around to Deebo Samuel has gained 17 yards this year. You can't run the ball? All right. Let's get to good Jimmy now, because he was 18 to 22, I believe, at one point in this game. He was very precise until crunch time. And he gets credit. It's a Super Bowl. It's a lot of pressure the entire game. This is 3rd and 5, 20 seconds left in the second quarter. They blitz him, is really calm, and has that little fadeaway flick throw over the middle to Jeff Wilson Jr. Nice route, beautiful throw. Let's watch it one more time. The little fadeaway. He knows he's going to get hit, buys some time, and the quick little snap release right there. Beautiful. I mean, hits him in stride, chest high. Couldn't be any better. This is another good Jimmy throw. This is play action. Turns his back to the defense. Beautiful play fake. It's subtle, But a lot of quarterbacks don't actually carry out the play fake this well. A lot of the reason that Jimmy Garoppolo has such wide open spaces after play action passes is because he carries out the fake perfectly. Now he sets his feet and throws this difficult throw down the field to his fullback between two defenders. Nice catch, perfect throw. Good Jimmy. Very good Jimmy. Final good Jimmy clip. This is third quarter, 3:58 left. 3rd and 8 at the Chiefs' 37. Five-step drop in the shotgun. No one's open initially. Holds the ball. Makes a quick snap throw with Frank Clark in his face. Again, perfect anticipation, perfect accuracy, chest high, leads the receiver, gain of 26. Late in the third quarter. This was the last excellent throw Jimmy Garoppolo made. Time to get to bad Jimmy, because there was really more bad Jimmy than good Jimmy in this game. This is second quarter, 14-15 left, 2nd and 12 at the 49ers 41. This is why Kyle Shanahan can't really fully trust Jimmy Garoppolo the way Mike Shanahan could trust John Elway or Steve Young. When Jimmy Garoppolo's under pressure, sometimes he makes beautiful plays, but a lot of times he will throw the ball up for grabs while taking a hit. I mean, you got to take this sack. In the NFL, you can't do this. You just gave the ball away in the Super Bowl. And so when Kyle Shanahan didn't call any timeouts at the end of the first half, he could say that was the right game management move, but it wasn't. As Steve Young said recently, if I were the quarterback, I would have demanded the coach at least give me a chance. The fact that he didn't give Garoppolo a chance is because of stuff like this. We saw it in training camp when he threw 5 consecutive interceptions on 5 consecutive passes. He has this streak in him where he does stuff. He did it in Pittsburgh, against Pittsburgh this year too. He makes a bad play worse. It's not your fault that you're going to get sacked here. Just take the sack. It's the second quarter early. And live to play another down. Don't do this. Because this is going to affect Kyle Shanahan's play calling and trusting you the rest of the game, season, your career, who knows. Can't do this. This is a really key moment in the game that I think kind of gets lost in the shuffle when talking about how the Niners lost. This is third quarter, 10:28 left, so their first drive of the second half. It's 3rd and 5 at the Chiefs' 27-yard line. They're right there, right outside the red zone. Let's see the play that Shanahan calls and what Garoppolo does. Remember, we're in the bad Jimmy section. 3rd and 5, ball's probably going to Kittle. He runs this route right here, and he's open. But Jimmy Garoppolo throws instead to Tevin Coleman, who only gains 3 yards on 3rd and 5. So let's look at it from the end zone. What was Garoppolo thinking? Did he not see Kittle? Is that the issue? Was he one Reed Magoo over here going to Coleman? Or did something else happen? No, it looks like he's looking right at Kittle. What's amazing is Kittle's clearly the number 1 read in this progression. Watch him, look at him. Right there. Oh, this thing is in the way. But you can see he's looking at Kittle. And then he comes off the read instantly. I mean, he comes off the read. Let's see. I'll pause it when he looks away from Kittle. Now. So right here, Kittle doesn't look open. But you can tell that he's going to be wide open. And for whatever reason, Jimmy Garoppolo rushes through his progressions, doesn't give Kittle, more than 4 steps to get open, and rushes this throw to Tevin Coleman, who's not really open and ends up 2 yards short of the first down. So we often say Jimmy Garoppolo locks onto receivers. He didn't do that there. It's the first time I've seen him go away from Kittle for no reason too quickly. And Kittle's like, what in the world was that? Now, the reason I say this is such a crucial moment, 4th and 2 at the Chiefs 24, and the Niners don't go for it. They kick the field goal and they lose. I think Andy Reid would have went for it on 4th and 2 that deep, and I think the Niners probably should as well. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I think people don't talk about this one as well. They talk about the end of the first half, the end of the second half. This is beginning of the third quarter, and they kick a field goal instead of going for it on 4th and 2. Not an aggressive play. I would have went for the first down. All right, later in the third quarter, this is 4:03 left in the third, 2nd and 8 at the Chiefs' 37-yard line. Again, Garoppolo's first read will be Kittle, who won't be open initially, but will become wide open pretty quickly. I mean, this is like a repeat of the previous play. So Kittle is here. He's running this little quick slant route. He's open now, but Garoppolo looked away from him too quickly and throws the ball to no one. So let's go back and watch Garoppolo's head. Quick play action. Looks to Kittle. Decides Kittle isn't open, although it's clear that he and Daniel Sorensen are running in opposite directions. Rushes through his progression and throws an incomplete pass to Emmanuel Sanders, who isn't even expecting the ball. That's head-scratchingly bad, Jimmy. Then finally, the final interception to seal the loss. You could say the game was pretty much lost at this point anyway. There's a minute left, and the Niners are down 11. Still, you can't throw this pass. I mean, he just throws it up to Deebo Samuel, who's double covered. Over the middle of the field. Intercepted. That concludes a 3 for 11 with 0 touchdowns and 1 interception in the fourth quarter for the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo, which is so... It's so tough for the Niners because he had played so well all year and given them confidence that he could be their franchise quarterback and a guy they could win multiple or one Super Bowl with. But given how poorly he played in this fourth quarter, even if they go 16-0 next year and make it back to the Super Bowl, they still have to wonder, what's Jimmy going to do in the fourth quarter if it's close? Is he going to revert back to bad Jimmy? Because he reverts. He's a reverter. He's done it a lot. All right, I got a new section. It's called Good Bosa and Bad Bosa. I go good Jimmy, bad Jimmy. I go good Bosa, bad Bosa. Difference is there's much more good Bosa than bad Bosa as opposed to Jimmy, which is pretty even. Bosa played his tail off in this game. He played with extreme effort and made a lot of good plays. He was one of the most impactful, best players on the Niners in this game, and I'm going to show you his positive stuff, but he's still a rookie who has ways that he can improve, which bodes well for him and the Niners. But here, this is good Bosa. I only have 2 of each. It's a blitz, which you don't ever really want to do to Patrick Mahomes, but Robert Saleh is the best defensive coordinator in the league, and he found ways to blitz this guy effectively. You brought the corner in, which is clever. You don't see a lot of corner blitzes. They're kind of rare. And what that does, it allows Mosley to rush outside and Bosa to jump inside, which left tackle Eric Fisher is not expecting. No relation to Bobby Fischer. This is Eric Fisher, not the chess champion. Bosa rushes inside. Mosley comes outside. Just extremely explosive, fluid, agile, strong, fast, terrific player. And almost misses Mahomes, but slaps the ball out of his hands. And if D Ford had just been a little bit quicker and shown a little bit more urgency all game, especially on this play, Niners might have gotten the 3rd turnover of the game. But they didn't. Excellent play by Bosa. More good Bosa. This is 3rd quarter, 2:35 left, 1st and 10 from the Chiefs' 25. I just showed you him beating Eric Fisher to the inside. Now he's going to beat him to the outside. Right side of your screen. Over here. Just discards him. Puts him on his knees. Remember how I used to give Bosa crap about falling down earlier this year? That was legit criticism. Look at how much he's improved. Week 2 or 3, he would have fallen, and his pressure would have been, all for naught because he wouldn't have got there. He stays on his feet, chases Patrick Mahomes out of the pocket. D Ford's waiting for him, forces an incomplete pass. Beautiful effort, beautiful technique by Nick Bosa. Really nice play. All right, now it's time to do bad Bosa, and this is in the same theme as what I showed you earlier during the collapse. How he finished the collapse, how he gave up the edge as a run defender, and the Chiefs scored a 38-yard touchdown. Bosa's a terrific player who's strong and plays with effort and should become a terrific run defender too, but right now he needs improvement, needs practice. Here he is, doesn't anticipate this block coming across from Travis Kelce. It slows him down just enough, and he whiffs. He plays a little bit with blinders on. He's like a colt with blinders on. He sees right in front of him, and he's so aggressive. You can kind of get him from the side and trick him sometimes. But again, he makes an overwhelmingly positive impact on the game. This is just where he's going to focus on improving next year. Run defense. Keeping his head on a swivel, as it were. Okay, again, here's Bosa. Similar situation. Run defender. Kelce coming across. Bosa sees him now. but still can't quite get out of the way. Falls down, flails, lunges. He can clean this up. He knows teams are going to attack him this way because he's such a dominant pass rusher when he's healthy, which was all season. You got to do something to slow him down, and right now it's running at him in various ways that he doesn't expect. He'll get better at that, but that's where he's at right now. Let's get to the stock up section. All the players who improved their standing on the team, in the league, in this game, who really played well. I'm starting with DeForest Buckner right here, the best player on the team. He recently won the Bill Walsh Award, which is voted on by the players and the coaches for who they think is the best player on the team. It's Buckner. And I've said that all season. A lot of people were saying it was Armstead because Armstead led the team in sacks. No. Armstead was a beneficiary of Buckner and, to a lesser extent, Bosa creating pressure and forcing quarterbacks to run into Armstead's hands a lot of the times. Armstead's a very powerful player, but Buckner has power and fluidity and agility. I mean, look at that swim move there. He's 6'8". Armstead is powerful. He'll push this guy, but Buckner just beats guys instantly, which is why he's probably the most underrated player in the league. It's amazing he's never been an All-Pro. Great player. Great sack. The Niners are lucky to have him, and they need to lock him up long-term because he's a professional who is a supreme athlete, but more importantly, he's a pro who has played with effort since day one. He's been on the team even when the team was bad. Another clip for Buckner. This time he's over here. This is one of the best games of his life. He's a big-time player. He rose to the occasion on the Super Bowl, which not every one of the Niners can say. A lot of people did. Some people didn't. Buckner certainly did. He cemented himself, in my eyes, as a flat-out stud elite player who should be a perennial all-pro. And the best player on the team, as great as Kittle is. This guy's serious. Again, the swim move goes up against 76 here. Starts at the outside, engages, now throws him, swims back to the inside. 62, Austin Reed to the center, tries to hit him. Now he's going through two people. I mean, God, he's like the Loch Ness Monster. He's huge, and he's slippery. So good. So good. The Niners are lucky to have him. Stock up Dre Greenlaw, a.k.a. the best linebacker on the team, even better than Fred Warner. Yes, it's true. Warner struggled in this game. Greenlaw was a stud. He was a stud the entire season he was on the field. Really good draft pick. This is 1st and 10 for the Niners, 28. Second quarter, 13:03. Here's Greenlaw running down one of the fastest players in the league and slamming him to the turf and making sure the Chiefs never call this play again, and they don't. Total stud. Here we got 3rd and 1. This is second quarter, 9:41, 3rd and 1 from the Niners, 13. This is a serious moment for their defense. Being threatened. Saleh's going to call cover one with the blitz. It looks like two deep safeties, but Moore is going to be man-to-man against this running back here. You got the blitzer, Fred Warner, coming here. Moore man-to-man against this running back. Notice the good coverage from Richard Sherman here. Tavarius Moore breaks early on the pass. Breaks it up. He's around the ball more often than Jimmy Ward is. I think Tavarius Moore very well could be their starting free safety next year. He played a little bit like rookie at times this year because it was his first year playing safety. It's his second year in the league. I think with a full offseason play in this spot, he can become a playmaker at free safety and a better player than Jimmy Ward. Stock up Deebo Samuel. Now, I've already shown you his reverses, and he's one of the best in the league at that stuff, if not the best. I've compared him to Percy Harvin. He's like a bigger, stronger Percy Harvin. But he's also a talented wide receiver. I've often said he's like a running back playing wide receiver, and he's better after the catch than he is before it, but he has skills before the catch. I mean, watch this right here. Watch this release. Oh! I mean, it takes a little bit of freelancing. It takes a second, but he beats Bashaud Breeland off the line of scrimmage and makes a 10-yard catch over the middle on a slant route. Good slot receiver, good at running slants, good at beating press coverage, good player. Stock up Kyle Juszczyk. Although they forgot about him with the game on the line. Earlier in the game, he was central to their game plan. Here he is playing tight end, pretending to block. You've seen the Niners use this concept a lot throughout the year, usually with Kittle. Now he backs out and comes over here. He's not that open. Makes the catch and breaks a tackle. This is all a singular effort on his part. and dives into the end zone for a touchdown. They came back to this play later, and he came 1 yard short of scoring a touchdown. It seemed like Kyle Shanahan wanted Kyle Juszczyk to win the Super Bowl MVP if they won. He was their go-to guy in the red zone for the first time in his career with the Niners. Stock up Raheem Mostert, the guy who ran for like 220 yards in the NFC Championship and only got 12 carries in the Super Bowl for some inexplicable reason. It wasn't because he didn't play well. He's one of the best players on the team. He's a superb player. Here he is blocking, not even running. We know he can play special teams. We know he can run. Watch this block, 31 right there. Really hits that linebacker. It's a linebacker, not a safety. Damian Wilson, one more time. 31, gonna blast you. What a player. Excellent effort in the Super Bowl. Mostert came to play. Mostert again, this time at the goal line. This is the 2-yard line. You would not think of Raheem Mostert being a goal line running back in the past. You thought of him as being an undersized speed back, special teams player. Well, here he is. He gets hit at the 3-yard line and powers through 3 defenders. This guy's 200 pounds, scores a touchdown. He's a complete running back. He can block, he can get short yardage plays, and he can score touchdowns. Okay, this is still Mostert. Fourth quarter, 6:06 left. 1st and 10 from the Niners 20. These were those first downs where Kyle Shanahan did run the ball and had success. This is outside zone from the gun to the strong side. Notice there's a lot of space over here. Mostert gets the ball here, but what's so impressive to me is how he spots the cutback lane here now. To me, Tevin Coleman doesn't see that. Mostert does. He's not just a product of his blocking. He has good vision too. It's a 5-yard gain where Tevin Coleman might have run right into 54 here and gained 1 yard. Mostert spots this cutback, hits it real fast, almost like he's surfing. The surfer, this little move right here. Cuts through the wave real hard right there. Nice block by McGlinchey. Gain of 5. Still don't understand why you couldn't get him more than 12 carries. Superb player. Should be their starter next year, not just the guy who comes off the bench. Final stock up. Mike McGlinchey. Here's a handoff to Coleman, who played well in this game. This was his best carry, a 17-yard run. It wouldn't have gone for much if not for this block by Mike McGlinchey right there, which opened up everything. So let's watch McGlinchey. Here he is. Eyes on 53 all the way. Takes him out. Beautiful block. Adjusts his course. Lines him up. Puts him on the ground. Face first. See you, buddy. Gain of 17. Beautiful block by Mike McGlinchey, who is a hell of a run blocker and did not give up any meaningful pressure in this game. Good player. Stock down, Richard Sherman. I already showed you the 38-yard catch he gave up to Sammy Watkins. I'm not going to show that again. There's other stuff that you may have missed watching on television. Here he is. First quarter, 6:45 left. 1st and 10 from the Chiefs' 36. Quick throw to Tyreek Hill. Missed tackle. That's a 31-year-old cornerback with a surgically repaired Achilles. Brilliant player. Had a terrific year. Just at a huge physical disadvantage against Tyreek Hill. Big time missed tackle. Sherman again. Here we got first quarter, 2:22 left, 3rd and 11 at the 49ers 15. This is 2-man coverage versus the 3-by-1 formation, but instead of having Sherman out here on the tight end, which is how I would have used him, they put him in the slot against Mecole Hardman. Let's see how that goes. Already he looks nervous. He's chopping his feet. This is not where he wants to be, in the slot and press man coverage. I mean, he loses instantly and falls, and he's out of the play. You don't notice this on television. All you see is guys running open. You wonder why. So Sherman's man gets picked up by Tart. Sherman's not doing anything. Mahomes ends up scrambling, and Jimmy Ward prevents him from scoring a touchdown. This all happened because Richard Sherman fell down. Final Sherman clip. This is 3rd quarter, 9:23 left. 1st and 10 at the Chiefs' 9-yard line. This is man-to-man against Watkins. Again, if you're putting Sherman in man-to-man coverage, you should have a safety right here, not here, like way closer to Sherman. So, again, he gives up the inside, which is bad news for Richard Sherman in man-to-man coverage. Now he tries to stick with Sammy Watkins as Mahomes scrambles out of the pocket. Watkins cuts back to the left. Sherman's just lost at this point and kind of gives up, just runs away from him. Doesn't want to be too, I don't know what you'd call that, but now he's 10 yards away from the receiver he's supposed to be covering, who makes the catch. First down. Niners need some corners. I mean, it's not just Sherman, it's Mosley too. The Niners need some corners. Stock down, Cohn Alexander. Here he is, number 56 in the middle. First quarter, 36-second left. Second and goal from the 49ers, 1 yard line. Really didn't play well in this game, although it was gutty of him to try to come back for the playoffs with a torn pec. He just didn't play well when he came back. I mean, bites real hard on the play action, is late getting over. That's his man, Patrick Mahomes. Lets him score a touchdown. That's on Cohn. Not on Tart. Tart's trying to slow this play up enough and defend two players at once. Cohn needs to get over there. He's late. That touchdown's on him. Here we go. Second quarter, 4:59 left. First and 10 at the Chiefs' 19. Just a big-time missed tackle, which was Cohn Alexander's reputation on the Bucs. I mean, just a whiff and a half. First of all, he's late getting over. That's his responsibility. Now he's trying to get over and make the tackle before it's too late. And we're going to see one hell of a slip and slide whiff. Whoa. See it from another angle. Here comes Cohn. He is just going to flat out miss. This is why he did not retake his spot as a starting will linebacker. Drake Greenlaw did. Greenlaw's better than him. Cohn will be on the team next year, but probably as the strong side linebacker, an expensive strong side linebacker. One more missed tackle for Cohn. Some people are tackling machines. He's a missed tackling machine. I mean, or he was in this game. Let's see. Mahomes checks it down here. Cohn Alexander has him against the sideline and just whiffs. I mean, it's not like he has leg issues. He has a partially torn pec. If that's keeping you from making tackles, don't play. Stock down, D Ford, who really made no impact on this game. This is second quarter, 11:49 left, 3rd and 5 at the Niners' 23. He's going to do a speed to power move where he pretends like he's trying to run around the offensive tackle and then runs right into him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps upfield and runs into him and gets blocked. This is the highest paid player on the defense. This is the biggest game of his career. This is the effort he gave. Compared to Bosa, compared to Buckner, just kind of stalemated. Same with Armstead. D Ford again, second quarter, 4:59 left, 1st and 10, Kansas City, 19. Here he is over here on the left. Goes up against 71. Just kind of stands there, content to get blocked. I compare him to Solomon Thomas, who's working. Highest paid player in the defense. You can't have this kind of effort from your highest paid player in the defense in the biggest game of the season. He's just standing there. More D Ford. Third quarter, 7:02, 1st and 10, Chiefs 41. Watch this. Hold on. There we go. Run play. Ford sees it. Makes no attempt to get in the play. Content to stay blocked. Does he even know where the ball is? I mean, the ball's over here. He's looking over here. Makes no impact while Nick Bosa really does. Makes the tackle. Or at least slows him up. Yep, right there. Again, D Ford. Not the effort he should be putting on film. The biggest game of his career. Ford again, fourth quarter, 7:23, 1st and 15 at the Chiefs' 35. The Niners' defensive mantra is supposed to be all gas, no brakes. Here's Ford. Seeing a lot of brakes right here. A lot of brakes. What is this? He engages Mitchell Schwartz and then gives up. Kind of just stops. All brakes, no gas from D Ford. Final D Ford play. This is the Sherman play, the one where he gave up the 38-yard catch to Sammy Watkins. Maybe that throw wouldn't have been available if D Ford had tried. I mean, this is the pass rush that he gave when Richard Sherman gave up this long bomb to Watkins. Again, D Ford, $17 million a year, Super Bowl. Come on, dude. What is that? Compare to Bosa. Look at Bosa. Working, not working, not working, not working. So D Ford made little to no effort, made little to no impact in the Super Bowl. And same with Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead played better, but he had a lot of the same issues that D Ford did in this game. This is first quarter, 7:57 left. First of all, he doesn't contain Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Then when it's clear that Patrick Mahomes is leaving the pocket, you got, let's see it from over here. Mahomes leaving the pocket. Armstead realizes it, turns around pretty casually. He's jogging. He's just chilling. Now the ball's still in play. Not really interested in getting over there. You got Buckner working hard, Sheldon Day working hard. Eric Armstead like, yeah, you guys got it, man. I'm cool. This is the first quarter of the Super Bowl. This guy's in a contract year. He's trying to get paid $19 million a year, maybe $100 million contract extension for 5 years. He can't be bothered to like hustle in the first quarter of the biggest game of his life. Buckner hustled. Sheldon Day hustled. Armstead's like, I'm going to set this one out and conserve. Again, all brakes, no gas from Eric Armstead, who wants a new contract. Armstead again, this time he's right here. This is, again, the first quarter, 6:45 left. Mahomes is going to complete the pass to Tyreek Hill here. Armstead sees it, knows it. Here's Buckner. Buckner's hustling. Here's Armstead. Armstead's much faster than this. He could get over there if he wanted to. Again, not interested, couldn't be bothered. That's a bad look in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, you're not playing next week. There's nothing to conserve. Your team mantra is all gas, no brakes. Let's see it. When defensive coaches go through the film and grade their players, they call plays in which a player gave minimal effort a loaf. This is the final loaf of the Super Bowl for Eric Armstead. Again, this is the first quarter. No excuse. It's not like he's been on the field for a half an hour and this is deep in the fourth quarter. This is the first quarter of the game. Here's Armstead right here. Once again, Mahomes is going to scramble out to his side. D Ford doesn't do a good job containing. And here's Armstead, who can really run. He's not slow. Does he want to get Mahomes right here? D Ford looks like he'd like to get him. Eric Armstead's like, you get him, D, you get him. Come on, man, you got him. He's not that far away. He's just jogging. Jimmy Ward wants to play football. Hits the crap out of Patrick Mahomes, but I just don't understand how you could give $19 million a year to a defensive end in a contract year who can't be bothered to try a little harder than this in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I couldn't do it. All right, final player in the stock down section, Mike Person, the right guard. He's the weak link on the offensive line. I don't believe he's quite good enough. If they had won the Super Bowl, you could say he's just good enough. Well, they didn't win it. They lost by 11. I'm thinking he's one of the reasons they lost. Here he is pulling. Needs to block this linebacker, Reggie Ragland, who just knocks him back right into the hole. That's a 250-pound linebacker. You're a 315-pound guard. You should be able to knock him back instead of getting pressed into the hole where there's nowhere for Tevin Coleman to go. That's on Person. They got to upgrade that spot. Person again, here he is, right guard. I'm going to pull again. And instead of getting knocked backward, he's just going to miss and allow Frank Clark to dip underneath and make the tackle. Or at least grab Raheem Mostert by the jersey and slow him up long enough for his teammates to get there. That's a whiff by Person. All right, this is fourth quarter, 9:47 left. The Niners still up by, let's see. Okay, this is the fourth quarter, 9:47 left. Niners still up 10, 20-10. This is 3rd and 14 because Joe Staley had just committed a false start the play before. Watch Person on this play. That's a big-time false start that the refs do not call. So when you say the Niners got screwed by the refs just weren't that great in general. One more time, Mike Person, flinching big time, false start. They don't call it. Could have been 3rd and 19, and God knows what would have happened. Again, Kittle in the backfield, hate that. And Garoppolo will end up scrambling for 3 yards. It could have been a 5-yard loss. Person seemed overmatched, not ready for the moment. He's a replacement level guard. The Niners, going into this offseason, they got to get some new corners, and they got to get a new guard. They can do that. That's very little. I mean, they have fewer needs than just about every team in the NFL, which bodes well. They just got to handle it and be honest with themselves and not just stand pat and bring back the exact same team they had last year because it lost by 11 in the Super Bowl. They're in a great position to reload and improve and win the Super Bowl next year. Let's see how they do it.